Hi, I'm Tim Collins. I'm a professional pitcher. This is my off-season strength and conditioning coach, Eric Cressy. And one of the other things we like to hit on, as well as the shoulder cuff maintenance, is the upper back exercises. It's just as important as shoulder cuff maintenance. So Eric here is going to be able to hit on some more points while I demonstrate it.
So the real reason we want to focus on the upper back, or the muscles that really stabilize your shoulder blade, is that your shoulder works just like a golf ball sitting on a golf tee. Okay, so there's a ball and a socket, and the problem is the ball is much too big for the socket, so you're working with an inherently unstable environment. So the rotator cuff is important for holding that ball on the socket, but the muscles that surround your shoulder blade are important for really keeping the tee in place. So you can imagine if you're working with a broken golf tee or a tee that's slanted in one direction, you can't stabilize the ball on top of it, and that's why we really need to get those muscles in your upper back strong, flexible, and moving in the right kind of range of motion. So we're using an exercise called a standing one-arm cable row, which Tim's going to demonstrate here. Okay, and what you'll see with Tim is there are a couple of key points that we want to work on. First, let's talk about his stance. He's a little outside of hip width. He's bracing his core nice and tight. He's in a little bit of a quarter squat position. Okay, as we go through this exercise, it's important that we're focusing on scapular movement, so the movement of the shoulder blade. And what you'll notice about Tim is he's not taking his arm too far past the body. Okay, it's really just maybe slightly past even with that body. Okay, everything really starts with the scapula and he pulls through. Okay, so you'll notice that as his shoulder blade moves, that inside bottom border is moving towards his opposite hip. So basically what he has going on is something called scapular retraction and depression. Okay, he's also getting some strength in the muscles up at the rotator cuff accidentally. He's getting some strength in the muscles in the front of the arm. But really what we're trying to do is we're trying to move that shoulder blade down towards the opposite hip. One cue that we'll use sometimes with our athletes is to take the opposite hand and bring it right inside and kind of just point towards that shoulder blade. And imagine taking that angle right down towards the opposite thumb. So for Tim, it's a pretty quick and easy cue to come through. Because one of the biggest mistakes people will make is they'll shrug too much. Okay, so we'll show a bad one here. You'll see how Tim just shrugs right through it. Everything kind of rides right up. Another mistake people will make is that they'll pull through just like this. They'll use too much arm and not enough upper back, and they'll wind up with that elbow too far behind the body. So those are the two big mistakes we want to make. A couple important considerations with respect to selecting weight. Make sure that you start nice and light, get a hang for the movement first, and as you get more and more comfortable with it, that's when you can start to load it up. Not everyone will have access to a piece of equipment like this, so if you have access to bands, things like that, you can wrap them over a post in the dugout and get some strength that way when you're on the road and don't have access to equipment. So those are some quick and easy modifications. But above all else, make sure that you're not just working with excessive weights and doing it with incorrect form, because these muscles aren't all big, strong muscles that are easy to take care of. Instead, they're smaller muscles that need to be moved the right way to really get the right training benefits. So make sure that shoulder blade's moving down and back. Make sure you're not shrugging. Make sure the arm's not coming too far past the body. Make sure you're bracing your core tightly, sitting down into a little bit of a quarter squat, and you'll be absolutely golden when it comes to making sure that your technique is perfect.
Just as important as having a strong rotator cuff, it's just as important to have a strong upper back. So this is one of the exercises that I like to do during the off season to keep me healthy during the year. Once again, this is Eric Cressy, my off-season strength and conditioning coach, and I'm Tim Collins. Thanks for watching.